This is how legends are murdered twice. 7 men survived the Alamo. 7 men knelt before an adversary. And what happened next was so horrific that it rewrites history. A discovery so explosive it was hidden for 140 years. An eyewitness account that changes everything.
¿Cómo disponemos de
The voice of the tyrant that gave the orders. This wasn't war. This was a war crime. This isn't speculation. It's documented history. While no one questions Crockett's bravery during those final desperate hours, emerging evidence suggests a far more disturbing end than the heroic last stand we've been taught. For nearly 2 centuries, one version of events dominated, until now. In 1955, a bombshell emerged from Mexican archives, a memoir claiming Crockett had actually surrendered, initially dismissed as propaganda. This account gained startling credibility when translated in 1975. Historians examining newly uncovered military correspondence and eyewitness statements found shocking consistency with this alternate version. Sam Houston's initial March 11th, 1836 dispatch contained a crucial detail often overlooked. After the fort fell, 7 defenders surrendered and begged Santa Anna for mercy. Though he didn't name Crockett, likely avoiding controversy during the fragile Texas Revolution, contemporary newspapers soon filled in the gaps. The Morning Star and New Orleans Commercial Bulletin reported in April 1836, 6 Texians were found alive near the chapel walls after the battle. Multiple Mexican officers' journals describe a small group of prisoners being executed on Santa Anna's orders, with one distinctive figure in a coonskin cap noted among them. De la Peña's controversial diary provides the most chilling account. 7 survivors, including the famous American frontiersman Crockett, were presented to Santa Anna. When General Castrillón pleaded for their lives, our commander simply asked, "Have I not made my orders clear?" What followed was regrettable. This wasn't battlefield heroism. It was cold-blooded murder, and the paper trail proves it. Without hesitation, junior officers drew their weapons and mercilessly drove their blades into the helpless captives' chests. This war crime, observed by numerous Mexican soldiers, would forever tarnish the campaign's legacy. Multiple eyewitness accounts confirm the horror. Ramon Martinez Caro, Santa Anna's own secretary, documented in 1837. 5 survivors were found by General Castrillón before troops broke formation and slaughtered them without mercy. De la Peña's diary provides even more chilling details. 7 men miraculously survived the massacre, sheltered in the chapel's ruins under Castrillón's protection. When presented to Santa Anna, the group included the infamous American frontiersman Davy Crockett, instantly recognizable by his distinctive coonskin cap and legendary reputation. Santa Anna's response to Castrillón's plea was immediate and brutal, a dismissive flick of his glove and a death sentence for the prisoners. While senior officers recoiled in horror, refusing to participate, a group of sycophantic junior officers, men who had avoided the battle's worst fighting, leapt at the chance to prove their loyalty. They descended on the defenseless captives like wolves on wounded prey. Though subjected to horrific torture in their final moments, the prisoners died with quiet courage, their dignity unbroken even in the face of unspeakable cruelty. As historian Dan Kilgore meticulously documents in How Did Davy Die?, 5 Mexican combat veterans, 4 officers and a sergeant, independently placed Crockett among the executed prisoners. Their accounts, emerging gradually over decades through personal writings and sworn statements, form a damning consensus. While any single testimony might be questioned, their combined weight provides the battle's most thoroughly documented war crime. The historical record is clear. Crockett survived the Alamo's fall only to be murdered on Santa Anna's direct orders. James Shackford's David Crockett offers the definitive perspective. Our obsession with Crockett's final minutes obscures the greater truth. The manner of his death matters far less than the meaning of his life, and what his sacrifice ultimately came to represent. Crockett's death mirrored his life. Both were testaments to unyielding courage. He faced the wilderness and warfare with the same fearless determination that marked his final moments confronting tyranny. His entire existence was a living declaration of the frontier ideals he cherished. When death came, it found him resisting oppression just as he had always lived, making his legacy about why he stood, not how he fell. The legendary frontiersman didn't perish in some glorious last stand. He died defenseless in the ruins, meeting a dictator's gaze before executioners struck him down. We've been fed a sanitized legend when the reality presents a far more powerful truth about sacrifice. Why did this version disappear for generations? National pride? Political convenience? Or our collective inability to accept that true courage sometimes wears no armor? 5 battle-hardened Mexican officers documented it. Sam Houston's own words implied it. Newspapers of the day printed it before selective memory took hold. The evidence was always there. We simply chose not to see what didn't fit our preferred narrative. But comfortable fables aren't history. Authentic history is complex, often ugly, and always profoundly human. Crockett wasn't just another casualty at the Alamo. He was a prisoner executed by decree, and this changes our understanding completely. Here's what nobody wants to admit. 1. The glorious last stand myth was propaganda. 2. The real story was too messy for textbooks. 3. We've been teaching kids a sanitized lie for generations. But ask yourself this: what's more brave? Dying in battle with a rifle in hand, or facing execution with quiet defiance? Comment below. Which takes more courage? Fighting to the end or surrendering with dignity? Smash that like button if you believe history should be told truthfully, not just the pretty parts. Turn on notifications because next week we're exposing another historical lie they don't want you to know. The most dangerous stories aren't the ones we question. They're the ones we accept without thinking. Don't let history be written by the winners any longer.